let's get this started. First off, we always want to save it before we begin. So I'm going to call this 8.3, and it is the punch holder for the Arbor press. What a terrible name. How'd you like to be a punch holder? Probably not a good thing. Alright, so we're going to do a 2D sketch in the XY plane. And I'm going to just use the line tool. I'm going to draw my first line, and if you look at the sketch, it's going to go up exactly 2 inches. And you see how that floated to the side on me? I don't want to do that. I want it to go 2 inches straight up. So I just hit escape, and now I hit 2, enter, and it draws a 2-inch line in for me. Now, this one that goes to the side, you know, they actually don't give me this dimension, so I'm just going to draw it straight over, and then I'm going to draw a line coming right on down from there, and this should be at a 35-degree angle. I'll put that in later, and it doesn't go all the way, so I'm going to stop right around here. And this piece, I know the dimension needs to be 0.25, so 0.25 coming down, and unfortunately it's not even, but we'll fix that later on. I'm not sure how much it's supposed to come back, so I'll just do an arbitrary amount. I don't want to get any what are they called? Any constraints in there, except perpendicular is fine. We'll come up at an angle. I believe it should be parallel to that, so that's okay. And then we'll come straight down, and we'll go across back to the beginning. Now let's add in some of these important dimensions. So from here to here should be, and I was really close, right? 35 degrees. Another dimension that we need to include is that we have 1.5 from here to here. So I was pretty close again, but not perfect. I want these to be collinear, so I'm going to choose the collinear, and this line to this line should be collinear. And I want to have a fillet from here to here. That is 0.125. Isn't that nice how it has it already set to the dimension that I need? Another dimension we should include is that from down here to that center of that fillet needs to be 0.838. And what am I missing here? Oh, from here to here needs to be 0.2. There you go. I believe that that has all of the dimensions I can do for this front face. And I chose to do this first because to me it looks like the easiest way to do that. Draw that in, finish my sketch, extrude that out, and the distance I extruded is 0.5. So from here I need to put in a bunch of holes. And you know what we need for holes? We need center marks. So I'll do the ones that go on the back here first. So I'm going to look at it from the back. I'm going to start a sketch there. I'm going to put some points. And the nice thing is you see how I just got that little dotted line there? I want to put it right on the center. I'm going to put one there and one that lines up with it here. And we'll dimension from the bottom to that point is 0.15. From the bottom to this point is 1.85. Alright, finish my sketch. Now, I'm going to change the view up so you guys can see what happens when I do this. I'm going to select hole. It's going to pick both of them. To unchoose this one up here, I'm going to hold shift and click on it. Now it's no longer chosen. And I want this hole to actually be an 8/32 tapped hole. So I'm going to select tapped hole, and don't freak out, it's going to take a moment. But it will give me 8/32 if I just wait. And I have to change the size, and if I scroll up a little bit, you'll notice that the number 8 is there. That gives me the designation of 8/32. How far do I want that to go? I want that to go 0.2. And so it's going to go all the way through this as a tapped or threaded hole. That's 8/32, exactly like we want it to be. Now, problem is my point disappeared. So let's get to the point and bring it back. So I'm going to go to my browser. I'm going to extend this. I'm going to right click on the sketch where I made that point, and I'm going to share it. Because now when I select whole, it picks that one. And I again want it to be 8:30 seconds. Oh, it's all set up. Only difference is I want to go to a depth of 0.3. And that depth isn't going to go all the way through. So that's perfect. That's what they told me to do. So there I have my 2 threaded holes. And now I need some holes on this side. This would be the foreshortened side. And now it's really kind of tricky to look at it, right? Because I can't look at it from the top and I can't look at it from the right side. But what I can do is select this and click that face, and it makes it square for me. So again, I'm going to choose point, and I'm going to again put it in the center, right? And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, and I got to be careful about the different constraints that get added as I do it. But dimensioning from here to here, they tell me it should be 0.336. I was pretty close, wasn't I? From here to here, they say it should be 0.736. From here to here, it should be 1.186. And finally, from here to here, it should be 1.736. All right. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish sketch. And again, I'm going to have to share the sketch. So I select whole. And it actually didn't pick any of them this time, which is cool. So I'm going to just pick this first one. And that first hole, if you're looking at it, it should be I believe, 0.22 inch diameter going to a depth of 0.4. And it says TYP, which means typical. Guess what? That means I get to do all 4 of them exactly the same. So I don't have to share the sketch, which is nice. So it is just a regular hole. I don't need to have threads in it. And it goes to a depth of 0.4. And it is 0.22 in diameter. And so that is those 4 holes. Finish sketch. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of creating your IPT, or your part file for the punch holder. Now, we're not finished because we're supposed to go ahead and create an auxiliary view. And let's go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to go ahead and click to do my IDW with an auxiliary view. I'm going to click New up here, and I'm going to choose the Wheaton table block and create. Project title for this one, you might call it 8.3 punch holder. Part name, actually, part name is punch holder. And maybe I should actually call the project title not punch holder, but instead Arbor Press. And again, it is Mr. Segrist. And period, we'll go with 1. So, okay. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo I don't really need to worry about. I'm going to select base, and I'm going to put my base view here. Typically we put a top view, a side view, and an isometric view, and we say okay. And this front view is actually very helpful. That looks great. I'm not getting a lot out of this side view, and I'm not getting a lot out of this top view. So I don't think I am actually going to use either of them. So I'm going to delete them. Instead, I'm going to use an auxiliary view. So when you do auxiliary view, it wants to know what you want to do an auxiliary view of. And so I click the front sketch. And then it wants to know what should I identify it with. And you'll see A show up later on, and the scale is given. But what do you want your auxiliary view to be of? And you want it to be of the foreshortened face, which is this one. In the top view, that looks really short. On the side view, it looks really short. But if I click it here and drag it out, that's a full-size view right there. Isn't that perfect? So from there, you know all the things you need to do, especially with circles. You want to have center marks on them all, right? You want to have the hole and thread, right? And you can add in, oops, escape. You can double click and add in the TYP, which is important because all of them are the same. And we can add in centerline bisectors. So boom, 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 boom. And I'll leave you to adding the dimensions yourselves. Thanks for watching, and as always, make good choices.